Hello and welcome back to OCD Coded. My name's Erin Brown and I'm a therapist and I have OCD myself. And my hope with this, my goal is to keep working on transforming myself and to help others transform. And one thing I found along the way is to how to turn my OCD into a superpower and help you do that too. So today, thinking about talking about the emotion donut was something I learned in the trauma research conference, which they do every year in May, I believe. And I highly recommend. That's where most of the research that I talk about comes from. And please check out their website at traumaresearchfoundation.org. Um, and one of the things I learned in one of the presentations last year was about the emotion donut, and it happens with neurodivergence, and it's different than uh, neurotypical and how they process the world and how we can look at that differently. And so the emotion donut is kind of that idea that if you have like a bell curve, like they talk about in research, but it's essentially like a little mountain or a hill that, you start on one side and then as the emotion goes up and then the emotion goes down the other side. But that we need to think about it more 3D, like it's a mountain that can come, emotion can come up one side and down the same side or up one side and down the other side. But that for neurodivergence or OCD, which is one of the neurodivergence or processing disorders, is about that like at the top of the mountain, it's almost like there's a hole, like a black hole, like a volcano is more of one way to think about it. I try and think of a more peaceful image, but I'm like, okay, it's a crater with a lake, but it's more just like nothingness. And so it's the idea that as the emotion goes up, for neurotypical people, the emotion goes up and then goes down, and the waves, kind of like I've talked about before, on average only lasting 2 minutes, which I always like to remind myself. Emotions last on average 2 minutes. They may go up, they may go down, but they do go up and down. They are not, they will not go up forever. I promise. And and so, but of course, it's a disclaimer. Please always talk to your own therapist or doctor about all this. And so back to the emotion donut, and kind of like your emotion is going up as you go up that hill, but then at the top of the hill, there's like this black hole at the top. And so it's almost like you're getting more mad and more mad and more mad, then all of a sudden you feel nothing. Whereas for neurotypical people, it's like they go up and they feel more mad, more mad, more mad, then less mad, or more sad, more sad, more sad, then less sad. But for the emotion donut, it's more sad, more sad, more sad, than like nothing. And in order to get out of the emotion donut, you have to like escalate your emotion again. So you go from feeling intense emotion to feeling nothing to feeling intense emotion again before going back down the other side. And that can be really confusing for yourself and other people around you when it has that emotion donut. And so when I heard this and I felt so seen and heard when I was like, oh, that's what that is. And there's nothing that's wrong with me. It's just a different way I process emotions. And if I know this, then I can start to, get rid of the, is this right? Is this wrong? The typical OCD, should I not? Is it not? Um, is something wrong with me that my emotions are like this way? And we just go from the place of thoughts and, it's valid, like, and if I start from my feelings and my needs are valid, but it also doesn't mean they're always true or going to get met all the time. Um, then like my feelings aren't always true and my needs aren't going to get met all the time. But so back to the emotion donut, it's more about that. How do I learn my own rhythm with emotions? And so start by kind of paying attention to my own rhythm of emotions and the waves of them. Do they go up and go down? Is there a point when the emotion kind of drops off? And, the other person might even think I look blank from the outside. And sometimes, even though the emotion has dropped off, my mind is still doing the calculations, the da 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 da, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should be thinking something or feeling something, but I can't. And now what should I be thinking? What is the right answer to say? And I'll be doing all those calculations in my head and not sure how to go through. But when the thing I found is just always that pause and kind of first like, okay, this is a normal reaction, but now how do I want to choose my response? And doing that, it was really helpful with how I go through and practice this. And so I wonder, for y'all, what you think about it. It really, really helped me to notice this and know and think about it again, that it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It's it's just part of processing differently, and I just need to learn how to master it. I want to come up with a different word than that, but like, because we never finish, we never complete or graduate, but just how do I feel like, but it's more like getting to know myself on the inside. So I'm not scared or think something's wrong with me as a person, but I can also take responsibility for my actions, and my responses, but then also try to improve upon them instead of just beat myself up. And, and then which leads again to more emotion donut. It's like the more emotions are escalating, we get so nervous that they're going to escalate forever. And then when they drop off, it can almost feel good, like to not have emotion because then it's not as scary. But then when it goes from that black hole to back to the top of the mountain and back down, it's just so confusing. But if I'm like, oh, I know what this is, and this emotion will go up and go down, and it'll drop in the black hole sometime and it'll come out. And it's like just this patience with myself and this and that first acceptance of myself as a first step toward love. That like first we have to accept before we love. And so I have to accept myself or a situation as it is before I can move from that point. And I find that really helpful. So I hope that was really helpful for all of you. Please let me know any other thoughts and feelings about it and insights that you might have had or what questions you might have, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.